Have you ever felt an instant spark with a woman and wondered if she felt it too, but couldn't quite tell? You're not alone. Millions of men experience this subtle tension, the curiosity, the warmth, the moments that seem charged, but struggle to interpret them. Many replay conversations in their minds later, asking themselves, did she like me? Did I miss something? It's frustrating, confusing, and often leads to second guessing yourself. The truth is, missing these signals doesn't mean you're awkward, inexperienced, or lacking confidence. It simply means that no one ever taught you how to recognize the quiet, almost invisible language of female attraction. And make no mistake, it's a language, but it's very different from the one most men are used to. While men often experience attraction as something direct and immediate, a spark they can't ignore, women tend to express desire more subtly. For many women, attraction unfolds slowly. It's a series of small, almost invisible signals, moments of attention, gestures, eye contact, and gentle touches that invite curiosity, test comfort, and gradually reveal interest. These whispers of attraction are easy to miss, especially if you're focused on words, jokes, or appearances alone. Today, we're going to explore three of the clearest, most revealing signs that a woman is already feeling desire. And one of them happens so subtly that most men completely overlook it. Once you understand these signals, your ability to recognize attraction will change completely. Many men feel confused about attraction because the way women express desire is fundamentally different from what they expect. For most men, noticing someone they like is straightforward. They feel drawn, they act on it, and signals are clear. For women, however, attraction often unfolds quietly, like a story being told in whispers rather than shouts. Women tend to test the emotional atmosphere before letting desire progress. They observe, they create small interactions, and they look for cues of curiosity, warmth, and trust. It's not about hiding interest, it's about ensuring emotional safety and feeling comfortable enough to let attraction grow. That's why so many signals are subtle: a gentle touch, a lingering gaze, or a small shift in proximity. The problem is that most men have been trained to notice only bold, obvious gestures, a direct compliment, flirtatious words, or overt attention. Subtle cues, by contrast, often go unnoticed. You might assume friendliness is just politeness, laughter is just social habit, or proximity is coincidence. In reality, these small behaviors often form a consistent pattern, a language of desire that only becomes clear once you know what to look for. Recognizing this difference is the first step to understanding attraction. Missing these quiet signals doesn't mean you're socially unaware. It means you simply haven't learned the language yet. Once you begin observing patterns, you start noticing moments that were invisible before, and social interactions become far more meaningful, confident, and effortless. The first subtle signal that a woman may already feel desire is touch. But not just any touch. These are small, intentional gestures that often go unnoticed by most men. They are not accidental brushes or routine pats on the shoulder. Instead, they are subtle ways her body communicates comfort, curiosity, and growing interest. Physical touch is one of the most powerful, yet understated forms of human communication. When someone feels attraction, their body naturally seeks to reduce distance and create connection. These gestures can be brief: a light touch on your arm while laughing, guiding you slightly through a crowded room, or adjusting your collar playfully. Each moment may last only a second or two, but patterns emerge when these touches happen repeatedly. Consider this example. A man attended a friend's birthday party and struck up a conversation with a woman he had just met. Throughout the evening, she brushed something off his sleeve, touched his arm while laughing, and nudged him gently during playful moments. At the time, he barely registered it. Months later, when they reconnected, she admitted she had been testing whether he felt the connection too. She had been sending quiet signals of interest, and he had missed them entirely. There is also a scientific explanation for this. Physical touch stimulates the release of oxytocin, the bonding hormone, which fosters trust, comfort, and emotional connection. When a woman initiates small touches, it's often an unconscious expression of her interest and comfort with you. The key takeaway: one touch alone may not indicate attraction, but repeated, natural gestures tell a story. Patterns of gentle contact suggest comfort, curiosity, and growing desire. Awareness of these gestures allows you to recognize interest without overthinking or misreading signals. So the next time someone lightly touches your arm, adjusts your clothing jokingly, or guides you through a crowd, pause and observe. These moments may be subtle, but they are among the clearest whispers of attraction, offering insight into feelings that words cannot fully convey.
The second subtle signal of growing desire is eye contact. While touch communicates comfort, the eyes reveal attention, curiosity, and emotional investment, often long before words do. You've probably heard the saying, the eyes are the window to the soul. In the context of attraction, there's real truth to that. Many men assume that interest is obvious through constant staring, but that's rarely the case. Genuine attraction tends to appear in a rhythm. She looks at you. Her gaze lingers slightly longer than expected, then she glances away, only to return again. This small cycle, look, soften, glance away, return, is a quiet but powerful signal that she is engaged and attentive. Scientific studies in social psychology reveal that when people see someone they find attractive, their pupils often dilate naturally, a response beyond conscious control. While it's not necessary to measure this physically, it underscores how involuntary and genuine the attraction can be. Beyond the pupils, her gaze softens. It becomes warm, present, and focused, signaling that she isn't just listening to your words, she's feeling the moment with you. Attention is another key aspect. A woman showing attraction often remembers details, reacts emotionally to your stories, and subtly directs her focus toward you in group settings. For instance, a man attending a casual dinner noticed a woman across the table continually shifting toward him, meeting his gaze with warmth, then glancing down shyly before returning her attention. Though surrounded by friends, the connection felt intimate, personal, almost magnetic. This is the essence of the subtle signals of attraction. Soft, attentive, and consistent eye contact conveys interest without words. It's not about dramatic gestures, it's about presence. When a woman maintains this level of engagement, she's signaling that she is invested in your interaction and curious to see where it might go. Practical tip: next time you're in a social setting, observe how people respond to your presence. Notice who returns your gaze, who lets it linger, and who listens with full attention. Recognizing these subtle patterns allows you to respond naturally, building connection without pressure or overthinking. The third subtle signal is perhaps the most powerful, yet the one most men completely overlook: the creation of private moments. Unlike touch or eye contact, which can occur naturally in group settings, this signal involves intention. When a woman begins to feel desire, she often finds ways to create a small space for one-on-one interaction, even if only briefly. In everyday social environments, parties, restaurants, workplaces, interactions are often shared across groups. Conversations happen among multiple people, and attention is distributed. But when attraction is present, women sometimes seek to slightly step outside that shared space. Not dramatically, not in a way that draws attention, but subtly enough to create a personal moment between the two of you. Examples include inviting you to see something together, like a photo or an object, asking your opinion quietly while others are present, suggesting a short walk, moving slightly closer, or lowering her voice to speak just with you. These actions create what psychologists call microenvironments, small private spaces where curiosity, connection, and attraction can grow without the pressure of a group. They allow both of you to experience a more personal interaction, which often reveals personality, comfort, and interest more clearly than public gestures. Consider a real-life example. A man attended a friend's engagement party. During casual conversations, a woman he had just met subtly leaned toward him and suggested, "Hey, Come see this photo album. The album itself was ordinary, but stepping aside created a moment of privacy. The conversation flowed longer, more comfortably, and more personally than before. That simple gesture was her way of signaling interest. The key insight is this: when a woman creates these private moments, she is observing your response. She wants to see if you remain present, calm, and engaged, qualities that are far more attractive than any rehearsed line. Recognizing these moments transforms your perspective. Instead of guessing, you see when attraction is already unfolding. So, the next time someone subtly creates a private space for interaction, pause, enjoy the moment, engage naturally. These small shifts are quiet, powerful signals of desire, and they often occur under the radar of men who are looking only for obvious gestures. Awareness of these micro moments allows you to respond with confidence, presence, and authenticity, the true foundations of connection.
Recognizing these subtle signals, touch, eye contact, and private moments, is only part of the story. Equally important is how you respond. The key principle is simple: respond naturally, stay present, and avoid overthinking. Attraction grows when both people feel comfortable, not when one person is performing or trying too hard. When she touches your arm or initiates casual contact, the goal is not to analyze it like a detective. Instead, allow yourself to feel the moment, respond with warmth, and continue the conversation with ease. A gentle smile or a relaxed acknowledgement is often enough. Repeated gestures may signal growing comfort, but overanalyzing them can create tension or self-doubt. Eye contact is another powerful tool. When she maintains a soft, returning gaze, meet it with calm presence. There's no need for rehearsed lines or clever remarks. Simply engage authentically. Smile, listen actively, and let the interaction flow naturally. The warmth of your attention can match her interest, deepening the connection without force. Private moments are perhaps the clearest test of genuine attraction. When she subtly creates a microenvironment, a quieter space, a lowered voice, or a brief one-on-one, treat it as an opportunity, not a challenge. Stay relaxed. Enjoy the conversation. Maintain your presence, eye contact, and genuine curiosity. Avoid rushing or trying to impress. The most attractive quality in these moments is calm confidence. Remember, simplicity is powerful. People are most drawn to authenticity. The best interactions feel effortless, where both parties feel seen, heard, and valued. Overperforming or overthinking often disrupts this natural flow. By staying engaged and present, you match her signals with ease, allowing connection and attraction to grow organically. In essence, awareness plus presence is more important than words, strategies, or displays of charm. When you notice her subtle cues and respond naturally, attraction can flourish quietly yet profoundly, transforming ordinary interactions into meaningful connections. One of the most transformative outcomes of recognizing these subtle signals is the shift from guessing to understanding. For many men, social interactions can feel like a puzzle, uncertain, confusing, and full of missed opportunities. But once you learn to notice the quiet gestures of touch, attentive eye contact, and private moments, that confusion begins to disappear. Awareness replaces uncertainty with clarity. You no longer feel like you're trying to force attraction or guess whether she is interested. Instead, you observe, respond naturally, and allow the connection to unfold. That calm confidence is far more appealing than any rehearsed line or showy gesture. This shift also changes the way you experience social settings. Small interactions that previously felt insignificant now take on meaning. You begin to see patterns of connection, understanding when someone is genuinely engaged versus when they are simply being polite. That clarity allows you to respond with presence rather than anxiety, giving both parties the space to feel comfortable and authentic. Importantly, recognizing attraction is not about manipulation, it's about awareness. By understanding the signals that indicate desire, you become more confident in your interactions and better able to nurture authentic connections. You stop chasing something that may or may not exist, and instead connect with the energy that is already present. In short, moving from guessing to understanding transforms confusion into calm confidence, making interactions more natural, meaningful, and enjoyable for both people. To bring these signals to life, let's look at a real example. A man who had long believed he was bad at reading women attended a local coffee shop one evening. Nothing about the situation seemed extraordinary. He was simply waiting for his drink when a woman nearby struck up a casual conversation. During their interaction, subtle signals began to emerge. First, she lightly touched his arm while laughing at a small joke. It was brief, but repeated in a natural, playful way. Next, her eye contact was focused and soft. She would meet his gaze, smile warmly, glance down briefly, and then return her attention, signals of curiosity and engagement. Finally, she created a small private moment by suggesting they move to a quieter table together. It wasn't dramatic, just a gentle step to create space for a more personal interaction. At the time, he noticed these cues but didn't overanalyze them. Instead, he stayed present, attentive, and calm. The conversation flowed naturally, lasting far longer than either expected. No forced charm, no rehearsed lines, just authentic engagement. Later, he reflected on the experience and realized that she had displayed all three signals: touch, eye contact, and the creation of a private moment. Recognizing them allowed him to connect authentically, without pressure or guessing. What could have been a fleeting interaction instead became meaningful, enjoyable, and confidence building. This story illustrates the power of awareness. Subtle gestures, when recognized and met with calm presence, can transform ordinary moments into genuine connection. The signals of attraction are often quiet, but when you notice them, your social interactions shift from confusion to clarity, from uncertainty to natural confidence. Now that we've explored the three subtle signals, touch, eye contact, and the creation of private moments, it's time to pause and reflect. Attraction rarely begins with dramatic gestures. Most of the time, it starts quietly, with small whispers of curiosity and interest. These moments are easy to miss when we're distracted, nervous, or focused only on what to say next. Here's the challenge for you. The next time you're in a social setting, whether it's a gathering, coffee shop, or workplace, pay closer attention. Observe who leans slightly closer during conversation, who meets your gaze with warmth, and who finds gentle ways to create private moments. Notice patterns, not isolated gestures. Awareness is the key to understanding human connection. When you recognize these subtle cues, you no longer have to guess or overthink. You can respond naturally, with presence and calm confidence. Connection becomes effortless because you are meeting the energy that is already there, not trying to manufacture it. If today's discussion helped you, take a moment to support the channel. Tap the like button, subscribe to Mindful Senior Living, and turn on the notification bell. Share your reflections in the comments, perhaps the word whispers, if this video helped you notice subtle signals. By participating, you become part of a community dedicated to understanding human behavior, emotional intelligence, and meaningful relationships. Remember, relationships aren't about tricks or forcing attraction. They're about recognizing the quiet signals that reveal curiosity, warmth, and desire, and responding with authenticity. Once you begin noticing them, your experience of connection will transform completely.